Thank you.
Conference comrades, my name's Hugo Pierre from Camden Unison. And I have to say, I'm a bit shocked at some of the people who said they're going to walk out of this conference. I haven't been to a conference of stewards, particularly the number that we have today here, where we've been able to hear quite fairly arguments put on one side or the other side, debate those, and especially on the issue of cuts, which is the most crucial issue that faces the British working class, in my opinion, at the moment, and the way in which probably the only thing that we need to use to build the Shop Stewards Network at this particular moment in time. But I don't think that I've seen as good a debate and as fair a debate organised anywhere in this country around this issue. And I hope those comrades who have said that will reconsider their position on the basis of the democratic discussion and debate that we've had here today. And I have to say that if we had trade union leaders that were organising a militant campaign from the beginning of this condemned coalition coming together, this government would have been gone by now. They're not a united government, as the last speaker said. There's major divisions that we could drive through them. If we had a militant trade union movement that was doing that, this government would be gone by now. If the NSSN, made up of shop stewards around the country, was a mass force in this country, in the trade union movement, perhaps we wouldn't have got rid of the government, but we would have pushed some of those useless leaders, and I have to be a bit careful as a Unison member, by the way, I don't mean what I say, we'd have to push some of those useless people, would have been pushed into action by now, we'd be on the way to defeating the government, but we don't have that position, unfortunately. And we have to find some way of kicking the stupid ass that is the leadership of the trade union movement into gear. And therefore I think at this stage it's absolutely essential that we have clarity about ideas, clarity about programme, and clarity about the way in which we organise ourselves. And I've got no problem with working with people against the cuts. I've got experience of having organised a campaign to stop a deaf school in this borough from being closed down. And at that stage we worked with students, parents, and other members of the trade union, joint trade unions together to force the councillors to back down. It was a Tory Lib Dem coalition, by the way, to force them to back down from closing down that deaf school. But I think we haven't had clarity in my own branch, which George is the secretary of, around stopping the councillors, getting the councillors to vote against the cuts. When we had a mass lobby of 500 people outside the council in December, it was my intervention that made sure that we did say to the councillors that they must not vote for the cuts. And I think it's essential that we do that, and it's essential that we know the role that these Labour councillors can play. I think as well that we have to say that the organised working class is going to play the key role in this particular fight, and I think this can be the primary organisation for making sure that the organised working class plays that role.